Previously on the Seventh Valkyrie, Cyrus starts to adjust to life in the old city, but even through the blur of cultures, celebrations, and colorful sexuality, he can tell that the whole town is on edge. What's on the horizon for Cyrus and the rest of Rene? Find out now on the Seventh Valkyrie. Festivals and events, there was always that little consideration that things might go wrong. But that didn't mean that they stopped partying, stopped celebrating, or stopped living their lives. In fact, it was the opposite, and people all around the pit were getting excited for an upcoming winter festival, and even invited me to come join them. Actually, the winter festival had been the talk of the entire town for a couple of days. Some people were wondering if it would even happen with all the tensions in the air, and if so, what it would be like. In the past, sometimes even Edrins had come to sneak in, but right now there was sort of an uncertainty about what might cause people to bust out and start killing each other. Still, despite all that, there was an air of inevitability about the festival, like it was bound to happen. Now, if you asked 12 different people what the whole festival was actually supposed to celebrate, you would get 13 different answers. Apparently every group and religion and culture and organization had some sort of significant holiday towards the beginning of winter, and they all had different stories. I was still trying to separate the specifics of which important child had arrived on which ship on which day, or which flaming mountain had burned longer than expected, or which harvest we were giving thanks for, but one thing every single culture seemed to agree on was that a few weeks into winter it was time to celebrate. And with all of those cultures here, they decided to just sort of mash them into one amazing several-day festival down by the docks. Just this afternoon, a few of the earth shifters and firewakers had gotten off from work to go help with the construction of all kinds of things. Stalls and lights, little cooking pits, places for dancing, stands for musicians, and other accoutrement of the merrymaking. And the rest of the people I'd talked to were all getting ready in their own ways, and one major part of that was clothes. Now, again, I didn't remember much of Valgardia, but I had remembered that comfort and functionality were pretty much the most important parts of the day-to-day clothing. Here, particularly for the festival, it seemed that your clothes were all about how you made other people feel. Apparently, the festival was a fantastic time to meet a partner, and to hear the guys around Flare tell it, if you were not sleek and stylish at the festival, you would be doomed to a life of solitude and poverty forever, and probably die. Which, seemed like high stakes for an outfit. Cyrus, come on, of course you have to look good to attract a partner. What, you think you can just show up in this big wool blanket and expect women to tear their clothes off for you? See, why in the world would I want them to tear their clothes off? I assume they worked just as hard on their outfits, if not more, than we did. God knows I've heard them complaining about it. Why would... Yes, it's a sex thing, kid. It's an expression. Do you have, any romantic desire at all? Any thirst in you, love, lust, or did I get all that good stuff and then just no dick so I can't do anything about it? That would be a cruel twist of fate, I tell ya. I don't know, see? This is all new for me. It's not that all that love and lust and whatever doesn't sound at least engaging. And people seem to be very excited about the idea of there being pretty girls dressed up there to dance with. I don't know. This is all new for me. Can you give me a break? Sorry, I didn't realize I was going to have to give myself the talk. That aside, Cyrus, come on. Are you seriously telling me that the idea of having a super cute girl, or fucking guy, I'm not judging you on your interests, whatever, a super cute person be totally into you? Doesn't get your gears turning at all? It might. I don't know. I don't know how to feel when my gears are turning. I'm just trying to figure out how to get from waking up to going to sleep without getting murdered, see? I'm doing this for both of us because I assume you can't exist without me. Okay, Bear? And honestly, that's so bleak of a thought that I'm not even going to entertain it, so neither are you. Come on, let's get back to the festival. Just picture it. Spinning around, dancing with someone. You feel that connection, they giggle at you, they smile. Okay. I kind of like that. Oh, okay. I have your attention now. Well, I guess you got something of old C in ya. Though I would definitely have to be the one giving you pointers when she drags you back to your room. Why are you jumping there? We were at the festival, now you're taking me somewhere else. Why can't we just hold hands and walk around the festival together and talk about our dreams and try yummy foods? Because, what? Actually, that's fucking adorable. Forget about what I said. That is really, really cute. Oh, okay. I don't know where that came from. I scrunched up in my blanket. Okay, but important thing. You do have to communicate that to the Flare guys. 'Cause I'm sure they'll be down to support it too, but you do have to get them to pivot from trying to get you laid to, well, whatever incredibly cheesy and adorable romantic vision you have. I'm here for it. You just gotta get the boys on board. You think they'd go for it? I don't know. They seemed pretty convinced about there being only one way these things go. Just 'cause they can't envision it that way doesn't mean they won't support you. I'd say give it a shot. You really think so? Yeah, fuck it, why not? Although, What are you humming about, C? You never for good reasons. You always when it's gonna really ruin my day. Well, calm down, first of all. But second, I was just considering that your spirit girlfriend might get mad if you hook up or meet anybody at the festival. What? What are you talking about? I don't have a spirit girlfriend? Yeah, you do. You know that weird little green glow that you always kind of vibe with when we're up here or you're about to go to bed? Then I don't see that shit? She's not... It's not my girlfriend. Oh, wait, actually I feel her. She's out right now, take a look. All of my hair stood on end, and I hurried down into a sitting position and strained all of my senses, trying to reach out for that green glow. It was only when C's ethereal chuckling broke into my concentration that I realized he'd been kidding. Jerk. The sparks dancing around my fingers died away. They would have been dancing around my eyes, too, if the past few mornings had been anything to go by. You know, when the boys told you not to shoot off at night, I don't think that's what they meant. Will you shut up? One too many, C. One too many. Just give me some space, okay? I actually felt something like embarrassment from C, and he was quiet. He actually did know how much that green light had puzzled me. It puzzled both of us, really. To start, I had no idea who or what it was. I didn't even know if it was a she or not, but it always came in from afar, and it felt... I don't know, it felt like more like a she than a he, but I didn't want to assume the gender for an ethereal green glow. It did feel like a person, though I couldn't for the life of me figure out where they were or why we were vibing the way that we did. And it wasn't for lack of trying. Whenever I could, I'd come up here and try to listen, but in all my daytime listening, the green glow never ever showed up. Still, for a few nights in a row, on the edge of sleep, I'd started to have dreams that weren't quite dreams again. And like always, they were brutal and nightmarish. Sometimes I saw people out killing each other, in the old city, the new city. Sometimes it wasn't in Rene, but the violence remained. People brutally slaughtering each other in twisting labyrinths of stone, or in the depths of raging fires, or suffocating catacombs beneath the sands. I saw glimpses of forces I couldn't understand, of fire-breathing beasts and many-eyed leviathans rising from the depths to roar out challenges to serpents and twisted skyhawks. And then in the depths of the night, beneath all of them, hiding in the darkness, somewhere out there I could feel the silent gaze and fragments of the hissing laughter or the fire of the world's ending. But in the depths of all those nightmares, when things got the most dire, the most dangerous, the darkest and most fearsome, I would all of a sudden feel that green glow. And it would feel like coming home to see a dear friend. Sometimes it was just a flash, a glimmer. We'd half connect and vanish. Sometimes we'd harmonize in that strange, ethereal way that May and Tristan had done out there in the forest. And other times we'd just sort of exist near each other. It was weird, certainly, but I always woke up afterward feeling safe and content. And I always had little sparks dancing on my fingertips and in my eyes, like when I'd touched the Star Lake. "Hey, what the fuck, kid?" BC hissed suddenly, snapping me out of my thoughts. Oh no, BC was here. Oh no, and she was really mad. Little sparks were bouncing off of me, but they faded quickly as I scooted away from BC towards the wall, curling up within my blanket. "I'm sorry, I didn't..." But then BC was all over me, pulling me up and shoving me against the wall so hard I gasped. Breathing in again, I could taste the whiskey and smoke on her breath. "May and I are putting our fucking lives on the line to keep you safe, you ungrateful little bitch. And what do? I find you up here sparking away with your pussy-ass little sparks like nothing in the world matters. What if it wasn't me coming to see you, huh? What if it was someone else? You know how quickly secrets travel around here?" There was nothing more than gasping and sobbing apologies dribbling out of my mouth, much faster than the tears welling up around my eyes. She paused, and then slapped me. Not as hard as she could, I could tell, but really, really hard. Then she dropped me, let me stumble to the ground, and took a deep breath, in and out. When her eyes met mine again as I looked up, they were no less cold and unforgiving. "I don't care where you came from, how valuable May and her wolves think you are. If you put her in danger, I will deal with you myself." I swallowed hard. "Do you get me?" she asked. I nodded. "Answer me, out loud, say it." "I understand you," I said. Her eyes went thin. I'd answered her in Edarin again, and she seemed just about ready to punish me for it. But as my eyes went wide to apologize, she took another breath. With another look down at me, shivering and cowering in my blanket, she turned away, whirling, lighting a ferret, and breathing deep on it. After a second, she turned back to offer me one. I paused for a moment, then reached for it, but she shook her head and instead pocketed the packet of them. "I don't want you getting hooked on this shit just because you're trying to be nice," she said, and stepped away to pace the mountaintop. When she returned, she procured a flask from her jacket and sipped from it between puffs from the ferret before sitting down against the wall next to where I cowered in my blanket. The sweet and bitter smoke of the ferret drifted past me. "I don't hate you, Cyrus," she said. I just don't think you understand how hard it is to hide anything in this city. Or how dangerous some of the people we're dealing with are. Maybe that's a good thing. I do know very personally, and that shit stays with you." After a pause, she took another sip from her flask. "But if you put yourself and us in danger, especially being careless like that, next time I'm not going to be so nice." "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to," I said, fearing what her being not so nice would look like. "I don't even..." No crying. I don't even know how it works. The sparks, I got them once in a lake, and now they only show up when I'm half asleep. If I could control them, I would. I'm sorry, I'm doing everything I can. I'm giving it everything I can. I'm sorry. She nodded absent-mindedly, smoke curling up and around her hair as she started to do smoke tricks. Finally, she used the nub of her first ferret to light another, and spoke between puffs as she got the second going and flicked the first. Well, it's much better that you're leaving soon then, she said. At my surprised silence, she continued. What, did you think it would take that long? It's been damn near a week, and we work quickly. May's got a spot for you. Way down the coast, back south of Sunset and almost to the borderlands. You think exes are free here? Well, just wait till you get over there, you'll love it. Probably find someone who can explain your little razzle-dazzle power, too. I scrambled up to a sitting position on the wall next to her. She glared at me, and I realized that I hadn't left much space between us, so I scooted away in my blanket and hugged my knees back to my chest, thinking. I don't know, I kind of thought you'd be more excited, she said. Me too. I'm just a bit surprised is all. I was kind of getting into a rhythm here, and I don't know, it's just a bit of a surprise. Well, I will applaud how quickly you integrated into the fake life we created for you. I heard around town you've even got everybody rooting for you to get laid at the festival. I blushed and mumbled something about romance, and for the first time since she'd come up here, BC got some semblance of a smile. But it was gone as soon as it had arrived. Shame you're not going to be attending, though. Why? I asked, sitting up and then quieting myself. I didn't want her to hit me again. My quick shrinking away might have saved me from exactly that. Too many eyes, too many ears, too many senses. Besides, you're leaving in days, not weeks, preferably before the festival even comes to an end. Best not to make some half-Valgardian love child before you go. I didn't even have it in me to argue that one anymore. Maybe it would be better to get out of here anyway. Everyone was way too focused on sex all the time. Hey, look at me. May will request you for some personal bottle service starting tomorrow, and continuing through the nights of the festival. It'll fit the rumors that she brought you in to be her personal boy toy, and it'll keep the rumors swirling the way we want until you're gone. You'll also have an excuse not to go out in public for the festival. Yeah, I guess that seems like the safest option, I said. BC patted me on the shoulder. Hey, keep your head up, she said. A lot of people got it a lot worse. You're going to be getting out of here soon. You're going to a place where they'll treat you well. Be happy, Cyrus. Be happy, and don't fucking put us in danger again, or I will personally kill you and deal with the consequences later. Do you get me? Yeah, I get you. Good. Then let's not have any more problems. With that, she got up, dusted herself off, flicked the second ferret, and headed back down the stairs. I waited a little while before I followed her. I didn't want to be inside anymore. Not down there, close to all the nice people who I'd be leaving forever. Again. I just wanted to be back up here 30 minutes ago, when I'd let myself believe for a blissful moment that I had found a place to call home for a little while, at least a little while longer. Like so many times before, regardless of what BC had to say, I reached out for that flicker of green light, searching for some faint feeling of reassurance, like it was going to be all okay. But there was nothing there, and who knows, maybe there had never had been. And maybe one day, just like I'd forgotten Valgardia, and just like it was getting harder to remember Bram's face, I would just forget that green light, the friends I'd made, the time that I'd spent here. Maybe they'd all just fade like the passing clouds. Want to know what happens next? Join us on Patreon to become a hero of Edera and get early access to episodes along with bonus features, director's commentary, and the full Tab to Archive. You can also find other ways to support us at the links in the description, and we will see you next week.